If you're watching this video, you're about to make a whole lot of money because chances are you're gonna do this year a workshop, a virtual event, an in-person event, a master class, a webinar, challenge, or something of that nature. And I wanna break down for you the 5 questions you have to answer for someone to be able to say yes to buy from you. It's critical that in the information you teach, you have to weave in the answer to these questions. So I wanna give you the secret to what you have to say and what questions you have to answer to get someone to buy from you. Every program, every business, every product has a failure point. What if it doesn't work? Fam, it's the difference between taking unseasoned food and seasoning it. Like, it's totally different because you have a strategy, not just information. What gets people to buy is not just information. What gets them to buy is strategy. And I want you to be able to utilize this in your business. So if you've been wondering, why are they not buying? This might be why. Video, you're about to make a whole lot of money. Welcome back to Monetize with Marcus. I'm your host, Marcus Rozier. The goal is to take the questions you ask your friends. They don't know. ChatGPT and Google and answer them in video form. So every episode I take questions. If you look at the thumbnails, it's always a question and our title is the answer to them. In the video content, it's the answer in a very simple form without you having to Google and find random information, without you having to figure out what's true, what's not. Well, in today's episode, now, I'll be honest, ain't nobody asked me this question. I just figured that I should pose the question and answer. Normally, I like to take things that you're asking. But this is that one thing that I'm like, they don't even know to ask you this, bro. But they need it. They need it. So, have you ever wondered to yourself, like, when someone's doing let's say if you're doing a master class, if you're doing a webinar, if you're doing a workshop, if you're doing a challenge, if you're on the phone with someone, if you're speaking on stage, you're on a podcast, whatever you're doing to drive traffic, let's just say even in your ads, or video sales letter, let's just go across the board. Have you ever wondered to yourself, what do you need to say for someone to hear it or watch it and say yes and buy from you? What I've discovered is a large part of why people's conversions are low. Back it up. When I say conversions, to get someone to convert from a lead to becoming a customer is because when we're teaching, what we're teaching doesn't align with how people make a buying decision. Imagine saying, like going 30 minutes, 90 minutes, you teaching your heart out. You're like, oh my God, I don't get it. I gave him the game. You sure did. But you talked about everything except what they needed to know. Are you following me? So it's going to be important. What I'm going to break down for you today, I think, is the most powerful sales and marketing psychology. I teach this inside of my mastermind, so I hope they're not mad at me for giving this to you. Because we give them the actual script and we give them the sales presentation script to be able to speak from stage, all that kind of stuff. But I felt like, yo, give a little. So a couple questions you have to answer now. If you're watching this, you're like, bro, I'm a service provider. Same thing applies because chances are you're gonna do a consult, whether you talk with someone on the phone or even in person. And there's always going to be questions that people have because that's how buying decisions are made, through people asking and answering questions. When a person is unclear, you ever had someone ask you something that's totally pointless? Like, hey, so let me ask you, let me give you an example. How long do I have to decide? Now, a person already's confirmed they wanted it. They already took time. Why does someone ask you how long do they have to decide? Somebody would say, well, they need time to think about it. That's not true. Normally when a person reaches out, they've already decided they need it. So what do they need time to think about? And are you giving them anything to help them make that decision? So they came to you because they needed answers. They leave to think about what? The only place they can find the answers is you. like it ain't nobody else on the internet telling them how to make the decision. So you got to isolate that and figure out, are they going to do price comparisons to find someone cheaper? Are they going to look you up and find more information? So I'm going to break down for you. If you are teaching someone what should be included, if you're doing, this might help, especially for my people doing 3-day, 5-day challenges. How do you decide what to teach each day? The very first question, let's go to the board. Question number 1 that you got to answer. Are you like me? Let me blow this bad boy up so you can see it. Are you like me? Are you like me? This is the question that you have to answer first in your content. Now, this is why this is important. When you start teaching, a person wants to know, let's just use for an example, I'm gonna give an example of a person is new to the space and you've been in it for a while. Why not grab an aspect of what you thought before you made the decision to go on the journey they're beginning, right? They haven't, let's just use if they're selling high ticket offers, right? That's a buzzword around the online coaching space. Or if a person is trying to increase their price or sell something for 5K or 10K or 20K. For some people, there's limiting beliefs around money. So they can't even think about what it would be like to charge somebody $20,000 for something. Are You Like Me is where you can include in your teaching, I remember struggling to charge my worth. We've got to pause right there because I'm in the giving mood. I decided to offer you a free gift, absolutely free. Now, I tell you all the time about turning your ideas into online income, but how am I going to tell you to do something and not provide the resource for it? There's so many questions that people have online about what should I post? How do I get my engagement up? How do I get people to click the link in my bio, buy from me? What should I sell? Whether it's an ebook, an online course, how much should I charge? How do I launch? How do I do a webinar? You see what I'm saying? So I decided to create a free training and give it to you that you can utilize to learn how to literally take the services that you do or the ideas you have and build a successful online company. Go to www.monetizewithmarcus.com, my gift to you. You're welcome. Here's my Are You Like Me story, and this truly happened. I wrote, in 2015, 2016 was when I wrote a bunch of books, right? My first coaching program was called Your 30-Day Book, How to Discover, Design, and Deliver Your Book in 30 Days or Less. Now, here's the issue. I was teaching people how to write their book. I would teach them how to bind it, editing, formatting, launching, pitching the book for television and radio segments, and how to sell your book to colleges and high schools for speaking engagements. I was charging $97. Then check this out. For $297, you also got the speaker program teaching you how to actually deliver speeches to the student and faculty, to the students and to the teachers and administrative staff. It came with contracts, templates, television segment pitches, because I was on ABC, NBC, etc. Now, Are You Like Me is where I can show people why I undercharge, what thoughts were in place, how I overcame that. There's going to be someone listening to me who's overcoming the same thing. You get it? Are You Like Me is where you address some of the same things that people are dealing with that are listening to you. They are not where you are now. Some people are where you started, some people are where you were. Let's say I've been doing this 2014. Right? So let's just say from 2014 to at the time of filming this, we're in 2024. I got 10 years to work with. So do I reach back to 2014, my origin story? Do I reach to 2016 where I got some level of success, where I launched my first coaching program, released multiple books? But my first book was, 3 of them was released in 2015. Do I go into 2018 or 2017 when I decided to pivot in my business? Are you like me? How many people are like me that have decided to pivot before? They've been doing something that makes them money and they decided they no longer enjoy doing it. Make sense? So it's the relatability that you have when you teach your information. Find your Are You Like Me stories, your Are You Like Me strategy, your Are You Like Me scenarios, because by answering that question, it builds relatability, it builds trust, and you can teach a strategy related to that. So not only do I say, Are you like me? I used to charge $97 for something that other people were charging $10,000 for. This is true. I can then say what is the actual strategy I did to transition, not just what I went through, but how did I change? When you answer that, you immediately now have answered the first question needed to get someone to say yes to buy from you. If you're thinking through yours, whatever your journey is, how long you been doing what you do? How long you been doing it? Come on, how long you been doing it? Holla at me. How long you been doing it? See how I'm treating you like we on Zoom? Like you can answer it in the chat. You're like, how long you been doing it? Oh, 7 years. All of the things in your journey over those years are included in your ability to teach, to help you build, listen to this, KLT, know, like, trust. Are You Like Me is a strong conversion, an objection conversion as it relates to sales presentations. Some of you listening, you're like, how do I use this? In any scenario, if I land on your page and there's a video on your page, you can add elements of this in it. If you're teaching for 3 days, 4 days, if you're guest speaking, any place you are, you can add this in it as sales psychology and KLT conversional content, know, like, trust. All right. Question number 2. This is a big one. Hit me right here, cameraman. Oh! Has it worked for others? The second question that has to be answered is not just, are you like me, it worked for you, because they might think you're an anomaly. So this is where you include someone else that you have helped to accomplish this. Now, you might have a person, an avatar, where like Ken, who was just getting started and had questions about X, like Kelly, who was wondering why here's what you got to do to make this happen. You have to predict the objections. Some people's objection is going to be price. Some people's objection is going to be process. Some people's objection is going to be education. I don't know if I can learn it. Some people's objection is going to be, I don't have time right now. Some people's objection will be, well, I need one-on-one. Some people's objection will be, well, that works for them, but not for me because I'm a little different. So you grab people who it's worked for. And the people who it's worked for, you use them in the presentation to talk about. Now, let's just say Kelly is a single mom and someone listening is a single mom. They can immediately see, oh, it's worked for a single mom like me. Ken is working a 9-to-5 while building his business, and he's a solopreneur looking to hire someone because his business is growing, but not like it could if he had more time and more help. Ken now has it worked for Ken. Somebody is a service provider. Someone's just getting started. Someone has very little resources. So will this work for someone that has little resources? When you can pull these stories, these are you like me, or who has it worked for? Notice, are you catching this already? Are you seeing how grabbing these small nuances, it moves the lever? Where it's not that you only teach this. I'm saying you weave this into the thing you're already teaching. So if you teach it on video production, you teach it on video editing, you are grabbing video editing, but you're including these elements in it. Does it make sense to you? If you're teaching how to create an ebook, I hope you're not teaching that because don't nobody want no ebook. But y'all know I'm anti-ebook. It's okay for those who are selling it. It's just, yeah, all right. It's like my people who vegan. You are people who like steak, beef. We all got our preference, okay? My particular preferences are all-inclusive coaching programs. I think people don't just want a course. I think people don't just want a conference. I think people don't just want ebooks. They want the ability to learn from someone. They want the ability to watch videos at their own pace that are less than 20 minutes. They want done-for-you templates. So I'm a proponent of all my programs are what we call all-inclusive models. That includes live coaching, support coaching, implementation, collaborations, in-person events, and done-for-you services. All right, that's why I'm the way I am, okay? So has it worked for others? Question number 3, how does it work? Question number 3, how does this thing work? Now, when you get into, this is where you start teaching your system. If you have a system and let's say your system is the MLM method. Let me just go over here. Let me move over. Your system is the MLM method. This is where you teach how it works. Where you say the MLM method is like this. It's in 3 pillars. You're showing how does the actual thing you're going to sell work. What you should also answer underneath how does it work is how is it different from other stuff I've seen. So if you came up with a way to launch your online offer, if you came up with a way to help people overcome writer's block, if you came up with a way to teach people how to write a book in 1 day instead of it taking them 1 year, if you know a way to help somebody find the love of their life, if you know how to help someone lose weight in shorter periods of time, what is your method? Can you see how just answering these 3 questions already is moving somebody towards a yes? Are you getting this? So when you get into how does it work and how is it different, you start explaining this. So here's what, you might introduce the original first step of your MLM method. And so the first step is to introduce the concept. Second step is to show how it's different from other things they're seeing. Third step is to show them how it works, how it will work for them and the result it'll get from them. So you intro the concept, how it's different, and then you show them the result of how it'll work. Did you catch what I just gave you? Now imagine watching someone teach and they've already, early on in the process, clearly identified, I'm just like you. They then went from I'm just like you to moving into question number 2 where they answered, how does it work for others? So they use someone else that is relatable to you, that has your same scenario, same situation, to remove whatever limiting belief you have that you would have said, I can't do it because of X. I can't do it because of Y. I can't do it because of Z. You eliminate X, Y, and Z in the presentation. Then you move into, how does this thing work? How is it different? You introduce your framework, your concept, your recipe, the way that your services are different, the way that your program is different, the way that your things is different. For us, how do we show people that what we do is different? Because we emphasize, let's use for an example, no one wants to watch out. Let's say if you're in a program and you miss a call. I'm gonna give you an example really quick. How's it different? If you're in a program and you miss a call, and most settings, you gotta go back and watch. If the call was 90 minutes, you gotta go back and watch 90 minutes worth of content. Would you agree? So you're like, man, you look at the replay and you're like, golly, I don't know where it is. So you put it on 2 times the speed or you skim. Listen to what we did. How is it different? I highlight in our programs how we're different. Number one, all of our live calls, the replays are put up, but our team actually puts timestamps below them. So now you can go to the exact minute mark with segments, much like how YouTube, you can see the segments of what minute mark to see what you want to learn about. If that were not enough, we also have a hub for every program that's the short form of the exact same videos. So let's just say our session was 1.5 hours. There will also be an 8-minute video that just teach the main concept. So you will have, let's use content and cash flow. You'll have a cash flow hub where you can watch those videos at your own pace, and every one of them come with a template that you can utilize to implement the information. Plus you have live weekly coaching calls every Monday. See how I just showed how it's different? If that were not enough, so here's how we support it. In our live coaching calls, you're learning and can ask questions and can watch the replay. In our cash flow hub, we offer support coaches. So once you watch the video, you can come onto a support call to get your questions answered. We also do implementation sessions. So now we teach you how to implement the information you're learning. Don't nobody want to just keep coming to calls, learning more stuff, write more information. That you want an opportunity to implement it. That allows you to then collaborate, and then we do one-on-one hot seat coaching. That's where we take your personal business in a group setting, but why do we call it one-on-one? Because when you're on the hot seat, we focus on just your business, just what we just did. We just showed you that quick. Take a look. That framework was, how does it work? How is it different? Did you just hear me explain the structure of that program and how it's different from anything else? Now, here's what also is amazing. We offer a virtual conference. We are about to have one now coming up where I teach them how to plan their year, or they can mirror mine. All my lunches are planned out. All my Black Friday campaigns are planned out. And we offer an in-person conference that's only for people that are clients of mine. So that means they get a course, they get conferences, live coaching, implementation, templates, systems, support coaching calls. See how this no longer is a system that makes me stand out from the rest of the space. So did I not answer that? How does it work? How is it different from the rest? All right. Next, we go into what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? This is such a bold question. This is a bold question right here. What if it doesn't work? Most of the time, you're going to get someone that's going to ask you. Well, let me say it this way. People don't verbally ask, what if it doesn't work? It's a subconscious question. Man, this sounds good, but now every blue moon you're going to have somebody, well, what if I do everything you said and I still don't get the result? Especially if you have, let's just say, a monetary promise, or if you say, hey, we got a done for you media agency where we'll produce 30 pieces of content and help you grow your brand. Person might say, well, what if the content goes out, but I still don't grow my brand? Hey, we have a funnel building service for you. We build your funnel to help you be able to scale your business. Well, what if the funnel's built and nobody's going into the funnel, nobody's buying? Does it make sense? In every space, even when you're buying a car, well, what happens if the tire blows out? What happens if the engine goes out? What happens if this? So in every space, a person normally wants to know that if it doesn't work, what do you have in place for me? This is the final thing they're thinking once they're convinced on question number 3. When we get into question number three is answering how is it different? If you wow them with how is it different, they're ready to buy, but they're like, but what if it don't work? You get it now. First question is not do I want it, do I'm interested. If they're listening to you speak in any setting, they only got there because they was interested. If I do a workshop on how to launch a successful ad campaign, the only people that came are people who want to know how to launch a successful ad campaign. You get it? The fact that they're listening to you says they were interested. So that first question I gave you, are you like me, builds the bridge and removes the sales restriction and tension early on and makes you relatable. You know what I'm saying? They're already there. They want to learn, but it's like, can I learn from him? Can I trust you? Listen to this wording. Let's go tight shot. They need to hear this. Can I trust you with my ignorance? Do you know how hard it is for a grown adult to admit to you what they should know that they don't know? What they should have, but what they can't afford? You should quit working for free. How did social media hire all of us to be their workforce? We're on the app posting videos, going live, creating reels. We do not get paid when we create content on social media. They do, by selling our content to advertisers. But how do you actually build an online business using social media? I want to break it down for you and give you access to it. There's 5 simple steps. I'll tell it to you in a few seconds. Step number 1 is client attraction. I'm going to show you how to actually attract clients that will happily pay you what you're offering. Step number 2, how to capture them. How do you get their emails? How do you get their phone numbers? How do you get them to show up to your event? Be on your Zoom calls. To what I refer to as client dating. It's where you nurture a relationship with people to get them to say yes to whatever you're offering. And I'm even going to show you what type of content to create that gives you brand visibility and brand recognition. I call it content to cash flow. You get access wherever you're watching this video. You'll see it in the description and you'll see it beneath this. Let's get back to the episode. Are you like me allows them the vulnerability needed for them to trust you and to buy from you. It's hard for a grown adult to admit, I don't know. It takes vulnerability. It's hard for a person to say, I want this, but I can't afford this. Do you have a way? What if this don't work? Like you see how all the questions are touching on the sales psychology that allows a person to say yes. Allows a person to say yes. You feel me? Do you feel me? Yeah, I don't think y'all get me right now. I don't think you get me. Do we got to go back to the board? What if it, so you see the questions. How has this worked for others? How is this different from what I'm seeing in the industry? Hey, I know you got a way to get me funded, but how is this different from the other funding program? I know you got a way to improve my credit score. How is it different from other credit score? What's your system? What are you doing different, or is it like everybody else? You get it now. Everybody's doing a podcast. How's your podcast different? Everybody's doing that. How are you different? Number 4, you see how we was answering with the 4th question, what happens if it doesn't work? One of the ways that you can answer this, now some people do guarantees. Some people don't want to do guarantees. But here's what I would say to you, and we got to go to the matrix on this one. We got to go slide in camera. So when I say, what if it doesn't work? And I call this the matrix. You see how we slide on you. Hey, gotcha. If I say, what if it doesn't work? You immediately have to think about, be able to tell them what are some of the, listen to my word and write a note on this, the fail points. Every program, every business, every product has a failure point. It has some way that something couldn't work. I'm going to just take it out of the whole context of traditional educational, informational product businesses, and I'm going to take it to an airplane. If I'm booking a plane ticket, what's the chances of me not being able to get to my location? If, in fact, there is weather conditions that are out of their control, so they put in there stipulations based on if it's an act of Mother Nature, they're not responsible. What if it doesn't work? If you can't get through TSA, it's not their fault. Fail point would be you arriving late. Fail point would be a misconnection. A fail point would be if a person, let's just say, for instance, they had a mechanical issue. If they had traffic on the runway and you missed your connection, right? So these are fail points. In every business, there's one. In a coaching business, there's one. In courses, there are fail points. As a business owner, you got to know your fail points. So because I know the fail points, that's how I structure a program to insert them and to address it in the presentation. I know that, listen to this, you ready? I know coaches and entrepreneurs are extremely busy. I understand that you might not be able to make it to every live call. You get it? What if it doesn't work? So what we did, in case you can't make it to a live call, we created, I want to tell y'all this, but I know y'all will steal it. It's okay. I'm going to give it to you because I like y'all. Watch parties. It is where my team allows people to sign up to come and watch the video they wouldn't watch on their own in a group, and we pause it. Do you feel me? What if it doesn't work? I know how hard it is for someone. Some of you are, listen to this, some of you are visual learners. You don't want to just hear, you want the ability to see it. So we created templates that walks you through it step by step. Some of you are not good note takers, so when you're sitting there, you're taking it all in but don't know what to write. So I always have a person from my staff who's there who writes notes and gives you the steps of whatever I taught. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm telling you all the reasons it wouldn't work. In addition to that, we know that everybody moves at different pace. So some of you might launch faster than the others. So what we've decided to do is we created skill labs. What is a skill lab? It's where you get to come and practice it. So for those of you who are going to do webinars, we do skill labs for you to come and practice your webinar in a group of other people. So now you don't have to wait until you go to do your webinar to figure out if it works or not. See what I'm doing? These are actual things in our programs. Skill labs for you to practice the skill. Do you want to wait till you get on the phone to practice selling, or do you want to do it in an environment where I can coach you on it? Skill labs, watch parties, implementation sessions, strategy sessions, support calls, templates, done for you services, copy and paste, fill in the blank, sales page references, screen share training so you can actually see what's working, over the shoulder training. You get what I'm telling you. Now some of you are going to be like, yeah, I'm writing all that down. Cool. Good luck implementing all of that. Because you still need infrastructure. How do you implement it? But you get my point. I started not to tell you that, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Because I think through what if it doesn't work, I thought through it. So in my thinking through what if it doesn't work, it improved the quality of my program. So when I'm teaching it to you, the person then realizes, oh man, well, I got everything I need. So guess what? They're closer to being able to say, well, yeah, sign me up for that. Number 5, this has to be answered. Will it be hard? Oh, most people are afraid to be honest with people. What is the level of effort right here? What is the level of effort that is needed from a person for you to be able to do what you promised them? I'm a biblical guy. When I read my Bible and the book of Genesis, I see God gives to Abraham unconditional promises, but he gives to the children of Israel conditional promises. And the condition is, if they will, he will. If you, come on, Deuteronomy. If you do good, you remember the script. You remember you grew up in church. You was bad. They kicked you out of Sunday school. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field, blessed going out, blessed coming in. Right after that, it says, but if you do not, you'll be cursed in the city, cursed in the field. It's if you will. It's conditional promises. When you're answering, will it be hard, you must address the conditions for you to do what you're promising them for their money. What's the stipulations, the contingencies? For us, show up to calls. Implement the system that is being taught. And actually follow our lunch process. Utilize the X, Y, and Z. Come to skill trainings. Do X, Y, and Z, like it's stipulations. Will it be hard? Our process, listen to how I address will it be hard. Do you see how I'm taking what I'm teaching you and I'm giving you examples so you can use it? So will it be hard? Here's our model, 80-20. When they come into our program, we take on 80% of the work, they take on 20. Because until they hired us, they had 100% responsibility. They hired us to alleviate some of it. So in the 80%, this is where we start in our programs with done-for-you services, and we coach them on what we built for them. It alleviates the pressure of having to do it all themselves. They don't have to learn everything. They're learning from something that's already built. Would you rather learn something that isn't, would you rather watch me cook something and then have to cook it yourself, or would you rather me cook it, you have something to eat, and now you're just modeling the process? It's faster. So we go 80-20. Then we go to 60-40. That is where we start deferring the responsibility of what we built. Then we go 50-50, holding you accountable to it. And then we switch to where you're 80 and we're 20. So we switch to where you're 80 and we're 20. That's where we're holding you accountable to what we built. It's a great model, and it tells someone, now here's some of the other questions that got to be included in that. How long before I see a result? Like, how long is this process, right? So are you starting to see? And what I'm teaching you now, I'm teaching you an overall framework of 5 questions that can be implemented in any sales presentation to get someone to say yes. If you can successfully map this out and you say, okay, every time I teach, I'm gonna make sure I answer these 5 questions. The 5 questions are gonna be, are you like me? This is where you are adding elements. In your webinar, you can do this before secret 1. And a training or a challenge, you would do this on day 1. And a VSL, you would do this right after you introduce your marketing headline and hook. What's up, family? I'm Marcus Y. Rozier. If I want to show you the secret to how to, right after that, you go into elements of Are You Like Me? If you're anything like me and you're sick and tired of creating content hoping that the algorithm works in your favor, and then you explain, I remember posting nonstop. See how that works? Are you like me? You go straight from there. Come on. I want to make sure you get all the questions. Grab this now. I want to make sure you get them all. You can go from Are you like me? How does it work for others? This is where you can use a reference, a case study, screen share. How does it work? You teach the system. How does it work? You teach the system. How is this different from XYZ? Anything else I've seen? Number 4, what if it doesn't work? And number 5, will it be hard? Fam, I want to hear from you. Holler at me in the comments and let me know if this has been helpful, if you have additional questions. I want you to make sure you write down all 5 questions, and if you can implement this in any sales environment, this is how you get people to say yes. It is not about you're going to teach what you teach, but if you can include these elements in it, fam, it's the difference between taking unseasoned food and seasoning it. Like, it's totally different because you have a strategy, not just information. What gets people to buy is not just information. What gets them to buy is strategy. And I want you to be able to utilize this in your business. So if you've been wondering, why are they not buying? This might be why. You're teaching great information, but the way in which you're teaching it lacks this strategy of answering the top 5 questions to make someone say yes. Do me one favor, family. All I ask you to do is share this with someone that you know can benefit from it. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. Underneath this video, you'll see 2 things. You'll see a link to get access to Content to Cash Flow, mentorship, and coaching program, which comes with a course portal, live weekly coaching. It comes with implementation sessions, an in-person conference, and ongoing mentorship. You'll see in our bonus portal templates there's a webinar script in there for you, already done, fill in the blank. You will see a social media script, social media calendar. You'll also see a link for leads. I mean, we spoil you, fam. So you'll see a link below that shows you how to get access to that. And secondly, you'll see how to get access to our $3,000 Idea to Online Income course that you get for absolutely free by using the code SAVE3000. It's use it or lose it. So if you do not watch it, our automation is set up to withdraw access from you because we want to make sure that you're not just hoarding new information, but that you're actually implementing. And we ask that you share with us your success story. Last but not least, if you make money off of something we gave you for $3,000 for free, we ask that you do the same thing for someone else that we did for you. Take something you can make money from and share it with someone else. This is how we all grow and we all get better. Until next time, if you need me, you know where to find me. I'll be over here minding my online business. I'll see you in the next episode.